Hello, this is Colton Hand from JMCH Tech, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about a few CMSs, just comparing and contrasting them, and those are Grav and WordPress. Um, so here I am on a WordPress site that I built for a class that I'm in. It's a really basic site, nothing really too complicated, and I'm just going to go over a little bit about pros and cons about them, and as well as go a little bit more in depth with the actual admin sites or pages and what it looks like to edit the site from inside. So just to begin with, WordPress is it is open source, so that's definitely an advantage of using it. Excuse me. Um, and it's cheap. It's free to use for most people, but themes can be varied in prices. So there are some themes that you would have to pay for, but a lot of the basic themes are just fine, and you really wouldn't have to pay for them. And it's definitely the most widely used, or the more widely used than Grav, and it's more preferred. Just seems to be in the global scale. It's been out for longer. It's been more preferred. People don't want to really switch. Um, and some of the cons is it is a little bit dated. You can tell that the coding and just the layout of the website is a little dated. Um, and it could be a little bit more difficult to learn for beginner site builders. But once you get the hang of it, I feel like you kind of learn yourself as you go along. If that makes any sense, like just getting over the initial hump can be a little difficult, but once you're there, it gets a little easier. Um, and like I said, that ties into the complexity. Um, so with Grav, some of the pros of that are that it's a little easier of a setup, just the initial setup, like getting over that hump, like I said, of just learning the ropes and everything. It is also open source, so it's free, just entirely free. Um, and the admin panel is definitely easy to use. I prefer the admin panel of Grav to WordPress. We'll get into that in a bit. And there's extensive documentation, so there's nothing to worry about on that front. Um, and some of the cons would be that you can't view the website that you're editing unless you open another tab to view it, which can be very frustrating, having to navigate back and forth between those tabs, and just trying to track your progress and what you're editing on the site. So that can be an issue. And there's definitely not as many users, like I said. Grav is not as popular. It hasn't been around as long, and it's just not preferred. Um, but that doesn't mean it's worse necessarily. Um, and like I said, it can be a little difficult with editing pages and layouts with Grav, but um, I think that you kind of run into those issues regardless if you're just a beginner. So it really just comes down to preference. I think just kind of learning the ropes of each website and seeing what you feel more comfortable with. I can just briefly go to um, customize here. This is the dashboard. So this is where you can edit kind of just everything here. You can see you can add an about page, set up your home page, manage widgets. You can add plugins. You can manage the pages here. You can see here, um, like if you were to add a new page, that would open up another section in the website, and then you can manage the links and everything within that. So like I said, the reasons why people like WordPress more is just I feel like it's just been more popular for longer, and there's not really too big of an issue with it that would make people want to switch to Grav. Um, but there definitely are some disadvantages, like I said, because it is a little dated, um, and the security is definitely much worse. Their track record with security is very, very porous, and that has a lot to do with the plugins. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. Um, and that's definitely a reason why I think Grav may be a better option moving forward, just because of the security. Like if I were to try and convince one or another, or just try and influence a decision, I would probably vote towards Grav, just because it is um, definitely the usability is definitely comparable, and I think that moving forward, it will probably be the more preferred and widely used CMS over WordPress. just mainly because of the security issues that have been tracked with their record. It's definitely porous. So it's really, a lot of it just comes down to kind of navigating the websites, navigating what you feel comfortable with. And like I said, here's part of the admin page of the Grav. I do like this better. Um, it seems more simple and it's easier to kind of get your hands on things. So, um, like I said, it's really just down to preference. Preference is really the biggest thing. Um, so, yeah, this has been Colton Hand from JMCH Tech. If you have any questions, please let me know. And signing off.